shelf. There were baby dolls and tin soldiers. There were dolls that talked and dolls that walked. There were Piggy's two favorites, Esmeralda and Giselle. And then there was Oliver, a funny, floppy, stuffed clown. Piggy imagined that it was time to get ready for the ball. "We don't want to be late," she told Esmeralda and Giselle, "so let's put on our costumes." "Oh, yes," said Esmeralda. "I'm going as a cowgirl. I'm even bringing my pony, Old Paint." "I'm going as a beautiful ballerina," added Giselle. "I'll dance and twirl all night long." "I'm going to be a fairy princess," announced Piggy. "What are you going to wear, Oliver?" "I'm already dressed for the ball," Oliver laughed, standing on his head. "I'm going as a clown. After all, that's what I always am." "He shouldn't be allowed to come," said Esmeralda, turning up her nose. "No," Giselle agreed. "He's just a silly clown." Piggy disagreed. "All the other dolls are coming," she said. "I think he should too." Oliver escorted Piggy, Esmeralda, and Giselle to the dolls' ball. When they got there, Piggy's eyes opened wide. Everything was so beautiful. A crystal chandelier hung from the ceiling, and there were flowers everywhere. All the dolls were in costume, and the tin soldiers and loveliest dolls were dancing a waltz. Two of the most dashing soldiers asked Esmeralda and Giselle to dance. Piggy watched as they whirled around the floor. Suddenly, Piggy saw all the dolls looking up and pointing. She looked up too. There was Oliver, swinging on the crystal chandelier. "I'm Oliver, the amazing acrobat," he shouted, swinging back and forth and back again. Then he let go and dropped right into a crowd of tin soldiers, knocking them all down. "Isn't this fun?" Oliver laughed. "Oliver," Piggy said, shaking her head, "it's not fun. You've made a terrible mess." Oliver looked at the pile of soldiers on the floor. Then he looked at Piggy. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to."
Well, that Oliver's some clown, huh, Uncle Kermit?
Yeah, I don't think Piggy appreciated his sense of humor very much, though.
Yeah. I guess I can see why. He made a mess. What happens next?
Well, let's see. Supper was served at 8 o'clock. There were little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, 5 kinds of cake, and 2 huge silver bowls, one filled with chocolate ice cream and one filled with vanilla. Piggy had piled her plate high and was nibbling some cake when she saw a crowd gathering around the table. She stood up to get a better look. What she saw made her gasp. Oliver was trying to balance the bowl of chocolate ice cream on his nose. "I'm the greatest juggler in the world!" Oliver shouted. "Hand me the bowl of vanilla!" As Piggy watched, the bowl on Oliver's nose began to wobble this way and that. Then, with a huge crash, it fell, splashing chocolate ice cream all over the place. "Oh, no!" cried Esmeralda. "He's gotten ice cream all over my costume." "And mine," Giselle echoed. "Oh, Oliver, look at the mess you've made." Piggy gazed down at the spilled ice cream. Oliver hung his head. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't mean to." Piggy cleaned up as best she could. She was just sitting down for a rest when she heard a voice. "Excuse me," it said. "May I have this dance?" Piggy looked around. Standing there was the most handsome frog she had ever seen. He was dressed as a noble prince. "Of course," Piggy smiled. "I'd love to dance." Piggy and the handsome frog were doing the frog trot when she noticed Oliver. He was practicing his somersaults, and he was headed straight for the orchestra. "Look at my terrific tumbling!" Oliver shouted, doing his best backflip. "Watch out!" Piggy cried, but it was too late. Oliver had rolled right into the violin section. Strings twanged, music stands fell every which way, and the instruments crashed to the floor. He's spoiling the whole ball, Giselle said, stamping her foot. You're right, Piggy agreed. She turned angrily to Oliver. Why don't you go home? Piggy demanded. You don't belong at my ball. You've made a mess of everything. Oliver just stood there. Slowly a tear trickled down his cheek. One tear became many more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, he whispered. Piggy saw Oliver crying. Suddenly the mess he made didn't seem very important. Don't worry, she said gently. It doesn't matter. We'll clean everything up. You're my friend, and that's the only thing that counts. Piggy put her arms around Oliver and hugged him tight. When baby Piggy looked up, she was back in the nursery. There was Gonzo standing by himself. Piggy remembered what she had said to him when he asked to come to the ball. Gonzo, said Piggy, the costume ball is still going on, and I was wondering if you'd like to come after all. Wow, yes, Gonzo grinned. Thanks, I can wear my new space helmet. He brushed off his shoes and gave his helmet a quick polish. Piggy and Gonzo were having some more refreshments at the ball when it came time to award prizes for the best costumes. The winners for the best costumes are, announced the handsome Frog Prince. Oh, I hope I win, Piggy wished. The Fairy Princess and the Weird Spaceman with her, finished the frog. We won, shouted Gonzo, jumping up and down with excitement. Piggy and Gonzo were crowned king and queen of the costume ball. Oliver, the clown, clapped harder than anyone. Then Gonzo led Piggy out to the middle of the floor for a dance. Gonzo was trying out his super-duper loop-de-looper twirl when he landed on Piggy's toes. I'm sorry, he said, blushing. I didn't mean to. That's all right, Gonzo, said Piggy. It doesn't matter. Piggy glanced over at Oliver. He was sitting quietly in a chair, but Piggy was sure she saw him smile and wink.
Gee, I'm glad Piggy invited Gonzo to the ball after all. Hey, Uncle Kermit, want to dance?
Robin, it's time for you to go to sleep.
Oh, Uncle Kermit, sleeping's just a waste.